become successful, you need to be moving away from that unleveraged mode and need to begin to think about how you can leverage the time and energy of yourself and that of your team to build assets that will then produce income. Assets that we own, create, develop, acquire, or leverage are the things that should be producing the income, not what we're doing and not what our people are doing. So we don't want to be trading dollars for hours, and we don't want to be trading our team's dollars for hours, which is another concept which is going to be new to you as well. Because a lot of the times, I'm going to grow my business because I'm sick of just doing all the work myself, so I'm going to get a team to do all the work, and you're just replicating a poor business model. So you're just trading their lives for dollars, right? It's kind of like they're your slaves, right? Legally. And so that's very linear, but you want to think about how you can change that. So what you want to do and what we do is ourselves and our team are creating assets that we can then leverage. And I'm going to show you how that works, because it's probably a little bit esoteric for you right now. This is a cool quote that my mentor, Jay Abraham, wrote or said or whatever. I have a very simple philosophy on life. You shouldn't steal from yourself. If you're going to commit your life to an enterprise, wealth creation, the security and the financial well-being of your family, and if other people, your staff, your team, your employees, your vendors are going to commit their lives to you, which they do, you owe it to yourself and to everyone else to get the highest and best results. You should never accept a fraction of the yields when, with the same effort or less, the same people or fewer, the same time or less, the same capital or less, the same opportunity cost or less, can deliver so much more to you currently and perpetually, which, when you really think about it, anyone who's serving you is also giving up their life for you as well, not just yourself. And so you want to leverage ethically everything as much as you can. I was thinking yesterday, who has employees? Almost everyone here has employees. Our responsibility to our staff is greater than their responsibility to us, because we have to make sure that they have a good life, fulfilling life, that they're able to provide for their family and all these things. And so we've basically got their life in our hands. So we want to make sure that obviously we look after ourselves, our family, and also that of our team, vendors, and everything else like that. So highest and best use theory. Who is not familiar with this highest and best use theory? Okay, cool. Everyone here is? Well, almost everyone? Because you did the training? Because you did the module 1, right? Who did module 1? Who actually implemented it? Okay, cool. Highest and best use theory. We had 2 people here who didn't know what it was. Dr. Irving Fisher from, I forget what year it was. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Created the highest and best use theory to do with real estate. So theory, to give you an example, your grandmother dies, leaves you a 2-bedroom cottage. This cottage happens to be on the Las Vegas Strip. A 2-bedroom cottage in Vegas goes for around 300 grand. Do you sell it for 300 grand? Or do you sell it for the highest and best use of that land, which could be a hotel, condo, block, whatever, shopping mall? Because a casino on that same block of land is going to be a hell of a lot more worth it than 2-bedroom cottage, right? So think about that. Are you going to sell it for 300 grand or are you going to sell it for $100 million? Because of the highest and best use of that specific piece of property. Make sense? But do we do that when we're thinking about our time, our staff, our skills? We don't, do we? We just do what we're doing because we're just automatically just doing stuff that everyone else is doing. Well, that guy down the road's doing that, so I'm going to do the same thing. You know? I'm going to charge the same as everyone else because that's what we should do. All right? All these questions, heaps of questions we're going to ask ourselves. So highest and best use theory. So we have capital, which is what? What's capital? Someone tell me.
Cash.
And?
Assets.
Yeah, and?
Resources.
What resources?
you've got an existing business that has a marketing agency, and you acquire a financial company who's got crap marketing, part of your capital is the fact that you can easily and quickly implement a marketing system and increase the profit.
Yeah. Did everyone hear that? Very good.
Learn some shit. I've been listening.
Yeah, you got human capital, you have actual cash, loans, line of credit, offices, leases, retail, warehouse. You have tangible assets, NTA, net tangible assets are things that are physical that you can liquidate, you know, like property, equipment, things like that. Equipment that is income producing, things like that. Intangible assets are things like skill sets and marketing collateral, and you know, you write a headline that converts 5 times better than something else. The headline is an asset. You're using it in the lowest and worst way because you're only using it to generate yourself leads, right? But that headline could be licensed, it could be used, you could be setting up a franchise and using that marketing to create leads for your franchisees. You could be licensing it out to the world. You know, if you're just operating in one part of the world, one city, one town, whatever, you can use that marketing. You can use your training manual that you have for your staff. You use it in the lowest and worst way right now, just for yourself. But you could be using that in 100 different ways. You could be selling it as a course, you could be licensing it, you could be franchising, you could be doing all of the above at the same time, right? So it kind of makes sense? Yes, no? So my staff, your staff are creating things that we're using. Maybe they're creating a training manual, maybe they're creating marketing that's generating leads and sales. Maybe they have specific skill sets. One of the things we do is we get our staff to create training programs. So if someone's using Photoshop or something like that, they can create a thing that can either teach other team members, or we can use that as a product, or we can do whatever we want with it. So using your team to create assets, seizing opportunities, turning expenses into profit, you know, turning employees who might be currently an expense. We have a company that we invested in over in Perth that had a graphic designer. She's probably at like 40% capacity. So it's costing us money because we want to be getting 4 to 5 times. So anytime that I've got an expense in some company that I've got, or my own company, I want to be getting 4 to 5 times back. So if I'm putting out 100 grand, I want to get 400 grand back minimum. One for the salary, one for overheads, one for tax, and then one for profit. So then I'm making 100 grand profit on that specific thing, person, office, whatever. That's my benchmark. 4 times is good, 5 times is better. So we figured out how to basically sell the rest of her capacity to clients, existing clients, not new clients. We did an offer out to existing clients saying, hey, if you want graphic work done, you know, we can do this package. So then we turn her expense into a profit. Can you see how that works? Is everyone doing that?